and pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports. News Radio WGNS, Murfreesboro. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
And we are on the air. Edwin Lee Raymer here with you. How y'all doing? I hope everybody's team made it to the final 68 teams, because that's been the big topic of discussion here. And I talked to Jeff earlier. He's going to be calling in later, so we've got to put him on the air, Jackson. He's all hopped up. The MTSU girls get to play Louisville. That's going to be good. I'm going to like that. Now, folks, we've got a great guest for you tonight. And Luis, is it Mata? Mata,
yes, sir.
Mata?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Luis. How are you?
Hello, Ed. It's a pleasure to be here with you and to all the listeners today, and I'm excited for this. Thank you for the opportunity.
I know you are, and you won't be here in a few minutes. You'll probably... I've got him chained to the desk, folks, so he can't run. This is his first time on live radio, so bear with this young man. How are you, my friend? Good to make your acquaintance.
Yes, sir. Likewise. No, I'm doing well. It's a Sunday, ready for the big week coming up ahead, and I was ready to be here. Yes, sir.
Now you've got a piece of work in front of you that you're striving. You want a job.
I sure am.
Tell the folks all about it, because we're going to talk about it later tonight.
Absolutely. So it is the job for the Tennessee State House of Representatives in District 49, covering the Laverne, Smyrna, North Murfreesboro area. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laverne, Smyrna, North Murfreesboro.
That's right.
Okay.
You know, we're happy to be here and excited to take this on. You know, we know that it's a long journey ahead till November 5th general election, but we are ready to go. Great team, great strategy in place, and we are ready to make it happen. Yes, sir.
We're going to talk with Luis. You think I'm not talented? I've learned how to text my wife and talk on the radio at the same time. This old man, talent. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Thanks, hon. And, we're going to list, after a while, all the ways you can listen to us. And it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, really. And this will be something new for you. You've never run for office before.
That's right. Never.
That's bound to be exciting in itself, But,
oh, yeah.
I've told a lot of my guests, you get up here, I say you, I'm talking about people like me, and you complain and you gripe and you raise Cain and all this. And I see, and I've done the same thing. But, and of all the people I know, a lot of them, I admit, have put their name on a ballot. I never have. And I probably never will, being in a position here that I'm in. And plus, with everything else I do, it would probably be a little tough for me. There's a lot of people who don't like me in this county, believe it or not. And I know that's hard to believe, but no, I mean, but I admire you for putting your name on a ballot. And we have folks here, they've been out there and in the batter's box 2, 3, 4 times, and I admire them. They do it. It takes a lot of effort. I don't care which office you're running for, it takes effort. And it's more than just going on Facebook and putting a couple of signs out in the yard. I mean, it really is pressing the flesh and all that. We're going to talk to, hopefully, some of your constituents will be calling in here.
Great.
And we're going to go, I'll tell you what, let's do. Jax, let's go ahead and go on the air if we could. And, we'll kick this thing off. Jackson's on the board, going to do a good job as always. But for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
All right, that's a little rock and roll for you to get you kicked off on the right foot here tonight. And this is Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show's produced at studios, WGNS. AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM, right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You can reach us tonight, us and Luis, at 6 with your questions, comments, or your thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. That's the AM call letters, 1450. And you can also send us a text to that number, and Jackson will be glad to get it and read it over the air. Me or Luis will be glad. He'll write it down, hand it to us. We'll read it. For some of you, read it. If some of you don't want to be on the air live, or you're a little too shy to be, we certainly understand. Now, you can listen to us, of course, just on the good old-fashioned radio, which is how I got here back when Noah unloaded the boat. And yeah, Noah unloaded the boat, and that's what I said. You know, I've said, Bart Walker was sitting down there where the tower is. And, hey, Noah, what's going on? Oh my God. I'm telling you, we've been here a while, and some of us a bit longer than others. But seriously, you can find us now, and radio's become a different medium. We are on YouTube Live, and it's under Ed Raymer Show, or maybe Edwin Lee Raymer. Okay? Type it in on YouTube. You can find us. You can find us on Facebook Live, News Radio, WGNS, Stitcher. My wife listens on Alexa. And then, like I say, if some folk, I don't know if anybody even has a radio in their home anymore. Everybody's got a telephone. If you got that, you can download the WGNS app and take WGNS with you wherever you go and listen whenever you wish. And always try to, if you get a chance at 6 p.m. on Sunday night, tune in Angela Bingham. She's doing a great job for us, and she's got just a fine program. She's been on there, I think, now a little over 5 years. I'll stand corrected on that. And she is part of the Bingham Sisters, and they've been singing since they crawled out of the baby cribs. So wonderful, wonderful people doing great work, feeding people, taking care of people. Louis, what made you tell us your story? I want you to listen to this, folks. This is a true. Tell us what's going on and how you got here. Please.
Absolutely. Well, again, Ed, I'm honored to be here with you tonight and with all the folks.
Thank you
listening.
very much. Thank you.
Hearing you talk, there's no excuse not to tune in. You all are everywhere. So.
Well, we all are. Yeah. Yeah. Supposed to be anyway. Okay? No, go ahead. Make yourself at home.
Absolutely. Well, I am a proud immigrant. I'm a proud immigrant from Mexico. I moved here in 2000 when I was 5 years old with my mom. We came here to...
So consequently, your English is excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
No,
thank you.
Yeah, there's none of this. It is a pleasure to be here in your country and all that. We got to go through all that, No offense. I don't mean that. You know what I'm saying, though. Mm-hmm. Anyway, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we moved here and back in 2000, my grandfather had started some restaurants in the Knoxville area. So we came over here to run those restaurants, be in the restaurant industry. We did that for basically my entire childhood was spent sleeping on the restaurant booths. I actually learned English because I would go up to random people at the tables, and I would come up to them. They'd be on dates. They'd be, families out there coming to dinner, coming to lunch, whatever it may be, and I would just go up to them and just spark a conversation. I didn't know any English, and
really,
yeah, I was literally 5 years old, walking up to these tables, and eventually, that is how I learned English. And
now, did your parents speak English? I guess. Well, apparently they did. They were here. They had picked it up, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah. So we picked it up because of the restaurant industry. We came here. I know my mom. She picked it up here. Same with me, and. That's how I learned, and I actually ended up meeting somebody who was about my age at the restaurant. I came up to them. I was like, "Hey, you look about my age. Let's go and outside and throw the football or whatever."
Right, sure.
So him and his grandmother, they were the ones that took me in. It would be some days that I'd go into the restaurant with my mom, and I'd again be there my entire days, and they would come over, they'd pick me up, they'd take me to the house, they'd teach me English, math, all that stuff, and so I was prepared and ready to go for that next school year.
Right, sure.
So, so that was my childhood right there, and eventually I was I was barred from being able to, I grew up, went through all the public school systems, and due to my immigration status at the time, I was ineligible to receive in-state tuition or federal financial aid, even though I had gotten into the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Growing up over there, that was...
You were not eligible?
I was not eligible
right.
because of the
So you went
state
on,
laws.
your parents paid on your own nickel?
Yeah,
all that good stuff.
exactly.
Okay.
So
right.
there's more than 15,000 students in the state of Tennessee who are going through that right now, still. So I did everything that I possibly could, worked night and day over the summer. I was able to afford to pay for one class at the local community college there. I did that for about 3 years, and luckily we got a call from our immigration attorney who let us know, hey, that application that you had applied for almost 20 years ago has been approved. So that was...
Took that long,
yes, Ed. And
so you happen to know a little something about the immigration process and what...
a little
This
something.
is nothing that's new.
That's right. It's,
right.
There's a lot of work that needs to be done regarding immigration, and I think we can all agree there. So, I got the call. I officially became a U.S. citizen with a lot of privilege, and I saw that opportunity, and I looked at those opportunities, looked at the privilege that I had, and I said, I can't sit around. I can't be, I can't not bear the responsibility to do something, to step up, to speak up, to be a voice with my beloved people and my beloved people, Tennesseans, right? For everyday Tennesseans.
Sure.
And
I'm a Kentuckian. I'll forgive you that, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to let you slide this time.
But
now Stephen Reynolds gets up here, he'll try and baptize you. Yeah, he'll make a true blue orange out of you, I'm going to tell you. Not that you're not. You graduated UT already.
That's right. So,
with a degree in political science, folks.
Yes,
Go
sir.
figure. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay, yeah. More power to you, kid.
That's right. And so I was able to finally, after that time, I was then eligible to be able to go and graduated from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, first generation graduate. And
your family must be extremely happy about that and proud over that, and they should be.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
unbelievable.
Yes, sir. And I always say that I stepped up because truly my role model, my why is my mom, right? She went through these systems, did everything she possibly could, worked day and night. She worked mornings.
Tell people what your mother did.
Mm-hmm. So she worked mornings cleaning houses, right? She worked morning cleaning houses. She worked nights making and selling children's clothes online, and that's how we got through. We lived in my little brother, my little sister eventually were born, and so it was 4 of us living in a 1-bedroom apartment. We had to make it work somehow, and so I look back at that and I think to myself, she truly taught me that if you want change, you don't wait for it, you fight for it. And that's exactly why we need change desperately here in the state of Tennessee.
Now, is your mom here in Middle Tennessee with you, or is she still in...
She's still over in Knoxville, yes,
she's
sir.
still over in Knoxville.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And
it's bound to be interesting around your table around Thanksgiving when I bet, when politics comes up over the turkey leg. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's always fun, but she's again, she is my everything, and I'm excited to be here having this opportunity and be able to make them proud and be able to make myself proud and be out here and fight for again, as we were everyday Tennesseans, working hard to be able to have a good quality of life here in the state. So
would love to meet her sometime. I really would. You probably wouldn't want me to meet her, but a lot of people.
I'll call her right after this.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Say, hey, stay away from this guy, Mom. He's nuts. My children feel that way too. They don't. No, Dad, it's okay. No, it's not that bad. And now your district runs Laverne, Smyrna. And now I've got to tell you, I talk to all you men and women that are running all these districts and everything, and I don't know the boundaries that well. Okay,
yeah.
I really barely know them at all because between the gerrymandering and the cutting up and all that, I don't even bother to keep up with it anymore. But what is your area primarily, and do you know what those boundaries are? I mean, tell
absolutely,
folks if you would.
absolutely. So
because there's a lot of people that they don't even know who they'll be voting for.
Right.
They really don't.
No, yeah, exactly. And I think you said it perfectly. After redistricting that happens every 10 years, Man, it was this
Okay.
district got completely cut, cracked, split, whatever you want to call it, all ways around, and it's unbelievable. But the district right now, it's the part of Laverne. They cut off the top part of the Laverne, so we have kind of like the bottom half of Laverne. It goes out to the Smyrna Airport, goes down. The left-hand boundary kind of is the I-24, but it goes out just a little bit out into the more rural areas on the left.
Right. Okay.
And it comes down over by Stones River National Park. That's about the very bottom of it.
Okay.
And then the very right-hand boundary
It comes that far up, Stones River National Park.
Yeah. That's actually the very bottom part of it. Yes, sir.
I'll be doggone. I did not know that.
That's right. And
Wow.
the right boundary is that Lowry Street that goes all the way.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Lowry Street. Sure. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. So you're in. How many? Do you know how many constituents are in there? How many possible voters are in there?
Roughly around 65,000. That's
65,000.
70,000. That's right.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk to Luis a little bit more. He's running. Is that the 49th district?
Yes, sir.
49th district. He's wanting your vote. He's asking for it. Jackson's on the board. I'm Ed Raymer. We're going to be back with you after our first series of breaks. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219, or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, and we are back. Luis Mata.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here, Ed. Thank you.
We are tickled to death to have you here, and hopefully we will have you back as this thing goes on. Now, tell people, I do so many of these broadcasts. When is your election, the primary, or all this? What's the schedule here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to be on the ballot twice, right?
Sure.
And I'll go back a little bit further, right, because we get this question just to for folks. The March 5th happened, right? March 5th happened.
Right.
That was an election.
Okay.
That was the presidential primary preference, March 5th. It also included some local races there. So now what we have left is August and November, right? So August 1st is the primary election.
Sure.
And from there, it's November 5th, which is the general election.
General election.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Along with the presidential.
Yes,
is
sir.
how this goes. And early voting, I think. Now, I ran into Katie Wilson ran into her this past week at the post office, and early voting, I think, is going to start, sometime in July.
That is correct.
She wasn't sure. She didn't have a schedule with her at that time. But Katie's normally, she's normally up on this stuff, and she's been around it for many, many years. But at any rate, we'll have to keep our eyes on, and we'll be announcing it here, so we'll know when everybody to get early. And hey, my wife and I, she got me to doing it years ago, and I went out and stood in that long line. My wife, you need to go vote early. Don't tell me what to do, woman. Okay, I know I'm the man of the house. I know what I'm supposed to do.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I told you that Wolverines made good house pets. Would you buy into that theory? Probably not. I hope not. And I got caught in that. Let me tell you something. I never did it again. I said, no. We're going to. I walked in. She said, where you been? I said, I've been standing in line to vote.
Yeah.
Everybody decided to get politically righteous this year for some reason. And I was with a lot of my neighbors. Now, of course, we cannot vote for you because we live out South Church, obviously. But now you're talking to a lot of people tonight that can.
Right.
And a lot of people listen on our frequency down there because the tower was put up, especially for the Smyrna and Laverne area, 100.5. So,
That's amazing.
You can talk to them, and that's what it's for. I thought about this, and I never do an outline or anything for any of you folks because I want you to speak for yourselves. If you went in today, what would be some of the things you'd want besides fundraising? What would be? That seems to be all they want to do is fundraise. But what's your pet projects? What would be one thing? Because I picked up our local paper here. This is the Daily News Journal, and they voted down again. One of the congressmen, statistics indicate hunger comes down to certain poverty levels, which is not always accurate. My personal statistic is that one hungry child is too many.
Yeah.
And we were talking about public lunches and school, free lunch and free breakfast for our students to give them basic nutrition. Now, I'm not telling. I don't mean to put words in your mouth. I don't mean it. But here's the thing here that most people they want. They want this. What do you say?
No, I mean, Red. And I'll go back just a little bit to what you were saying about early voting, and then I'll get to this. But I think it's important for folks that are listening in to recognize that actually here in Rutherford County, it is one of the few counties here in the state of Tennessee where, the way that people kind of pitch early voting is go out early vote. You avoid the long lines on election day. You can vote at any of the voting locations most convenient to you. But here in Rutherford County, actually, you are able to vote on election day also at any of the voting locations most convenient to you.
Alan Farley has done a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Has done a fantastic job with that.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it before. We have a caller on the line. Okay. Caller, this is Ed Raymer and Louis Mata. Please go ahead.
Mr. Raymer, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Jeff, how are you doing? Did you get all your...
I'm gonna be, my eyeballs going to be running through the next 3 weeks. There were all these basketball tournaments. I might have to...
Are you going to be getting started Tuesday afternoon, I guess?
I have to get them checked after April. I have to have April Fool's Day check. I don't know. But no, I just want to say, I didn't know if you'll follow paper with Mr. Mott about this morning. There was a cartoon in the opinion page today in the local paper. It had the guys giving the news. It says, in a shocking development, the state legislature has adjourned without passing some of its stupidest bills. And the guy sitting there on the couch on the easy chair that says, somebody pinch me on that one. Somebody pinched me, doggone. He wasn't wearing green, though, so he might have got pinched.
He wasn't wearing green, okay. I'm not wearing green tonight either, so I'm sorry. To all of my Irish friends, of which I am.
Hope your campaign goes well. I don't know when you got started or anything, but I know it's a long winding road for you. I know it's always hard to defeat an incumbent, so I know it's going to be tough for you, but I'm sure people out there will be supporting you as much as they can. And I did want to mention one thing too, Edwin Lee. I just want to give a shout out to the Middle Tennessee women's basketball team. They won the conference tournament again. They got selected tonight to play in the women's tournament, NCAA tournament. They're going to play Louisville in the first game, and if they win, they might play LSU on their court. They're going to play at LSU.
When will they play, Jeff? When will they play?
I'm not sure if it's Thursday, Friday, or maybe Saturday. I'm not sure they haven't announced the game times or anything or dates.
Okay.
They're probably announcing later on tonight, but that's who they'll play. They play Louisville, and I believe it was last year or 2 years ago they played them out here at Murphy Center and beat them pretty badly, about 20.
Now, let me ask you, what was their seating position?
11.
11?
11, which is
Okay.
pretty good. They got an 11 seed last year and played Colorado and lost in the first round, so that's pretty good seed for them. They won 19 in a row. They haven't lost this calendar year.
Well, Coach Enschel has always done a great job. He's been a guest of ours at least, I know once, maybe twice. And he's been a guest up here at WGNS on other broadcasts many times. Fine fella. And lifelong knows his girls' basketball, and he knows the ladies that come there, too.
Oh, yeah, he's got a girl sitting there right now, but a redshirt Jada Harris. She's from Westview, and she's just as good as some of the ones they got right now. So they're going to be all right. They want to lose 2 this year, and they're going to be all right in the future. But they got a really good chance to maybe win a game or two in the NCAA tournament. I sure would like to see them. Like to see him do it. It's the 12th time he's made the NCAA tournament.
Right.
He's been in Middle Tennessee 19 years now, and every year he's either been in the NCAA tournament or the women's NIT. He's never missed.
I know. He is fantastic.
Never missed.
And I will do my very best to have him on after the season. I don't want to bother him or his coaches right now, of course, because obviously they're going to be very busy the next few weeks.
Yeah, one final thing. There's 5 teams in the women's field from Tennessee. There's Tennessee, Vanderbilt, UT Martin, Chattanooga, and Middle Tennessee.
Goodness gracious, that's a bunch.
5 teams out of 68 now from the state of Tennessee.
How'd you feel about Coach Barnes? Now, I know you call Coach Barnes regular Rick because he's regular.
Call him out now. I'm just a messenger. That's what the fans call him now. Fans call him that. So, he lost again. So, that's tournament. He plays St. Peter's. And, a few years ago, Kentucky lost to St. Peter's. So,
I know.
St. Peter, don't you call me because I can't go. I owe my soul the 3-point line.
My grandfather's best friend, Merle Travis, wrote that song in Muhlenberg County, Kentucky. St. Peter, don't you come because I can't go because I owe my soul to the company store.
I owe my soul the 3-point shot, so you better get ready, That's all I can tell you about that. But it's going to be this week, and it's going to be exciting. So I enjoy your show, Heavenly. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Jeff, thank you. Jeff Neal, a continued supporter of WGNS. I am grateful he is a supporter of my broadcast. He listens every week. We talk maybe about once a week, sometimes twice, depending on what the news is. We read the papers. Jeff does some reporting for I think the Murfreesboro Post. I'm not sure, maybe all of them. I don't know. And is just a good citizen and a concerned citizen. And we appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Luis, you need more people like Jeff. He's right. What can put you in office. He's the guy. Now, he's here in Murfreesboro. Obviously, probably can't vote for you, I'm sure. But these are the type of people you need to get to.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Salt of the earth. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Thank you, Jeff, for calling in. And I think you're right. Regardless of if you're in the district or not, you have so much power. Such a your vote is your voice, and
That's
people
right.
can make an impact all across the state.
There is no electoral college for you guys.
Yep.
This is not.
Yep.
People get confused over that. They, oh, yeah, my vote don't count. See, there they elected a guy president. I voted. Yeah, I understand, but that is not true. And some of you guys and gals, there's a handful of votes separating you now nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen this, and it can happen.
Yeah.
So,
no, there's that saying that it's like oh, it's just one vote. It's not going to matter, right? But it's like 40 million people saying that. That's 40
that's
million
a bunch
votes.
of votes. Sure it is. Now, let me ask you, what if I say, okay, Jeff, you're going to work tomorrow morning, you're going down to the state capitol, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What's your idea? And it's not going to work that way, obviously, but what direction do you want to head?
Absolutely. So thank you for that question. I think that there's so much to be done.
Sure.
Right. And there's so much to be done. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of political will, political courage that is missing right now from our current leadership.
Courage is your key word right there.
Exactly. And there's a lot of actions, especially here. It's our local communities, our local governments, our local leaders are asking for so much, right? They're asking for things that have solutions, things that have actions behind them. So, for example, I think first and foremost, all that to say, Tennesseans deserve better, plain and simple. And I think that number one,
because when you have 70 and 80% of people that want, we want this, and not only here in Tennessee but nationwide. In other words, we want decent background checks on a person before they buy a gun.
Yep. Yeah.
Common sense.
Exactly. And it goes back to that, right? It's a common sense, and it's a majority of Tennesseans agree. We all just want to be able to live and thrive fully in our communities safely,
and our children to be
affordably,
safe,
and our children to be
Right.
safe. Exactly. And so, to answer your question, Ed, I think first and foremost, it's right now we're seeing a complete disregard for our public education system, our public school teachers, librarians. Right, we're seeing attacks against them. I am so incredibly grateful for my educators. I'm a product of public schools, and we need to do everything that we possibly can to protect our public education and invest in our public education. And right now we're seeing the complete opposite. We're seeing this narrative that is completely starving our public education system and then saying it's not working for us. Well, yeah, that's how that works. And
yeah, I've got it in the paper here. Here's I don't know how many articles. This is in today's Daily News Journal, folks. I'll show it to you again. And I mean, they can't even agree on a subject that I'm proud to say I've talked about since I first got here. We started doing this was free lunch for the kids. We're already feeding a bunch of them anyway. It's free lunch.
Exactly.
Take care of our children.
No, exactly.
That's all we're asking. And most Tennesseans want this. Most of my friends in Kentucky want this. It's not because they're poor. They just say, these other kids, give them,
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And I think that that's a great. Yeah, exactly. We want to be able to thrive. We want to be able to have a good quality of life, and that goes back to the basic necessities, right? We want to be able to the key point there is we want to be able to thrive and not just survive, right? And I think that a lot of people, working Tennesseans, everyday Tennesseans, are trying so hard to just survive, find out where their next meal is going to come from, how they're going to be able to choose between paying for their medical bills or putting food on the table, right? And that is completely unacceptable. We have had my opponent has been in office for 13 years. It's long overdue that we need to see some actionable solutions to the issues that are actually happening here in our local communities. So right now, going back to what I was saying, right now we're seeing this voucher scam going through the state legislature.
Scam is a pretty good word.
The voucher scam that is siphoning public tax dollars away from our already underfunded public schools to subsidize the private education of the wealthy and privileged few. And here's the thing, Ed. This voucher scam is the way that we're seeing it is around $7,000, right?
That's
of the
what I've
subsidy.
heard, and I'll stand corrected on that. But if you probably know better than I do. Sure.
And here's the thing: the average tuition for private school is around $12,000. And I've been talking to voters across the district, and these are conversations that we've been having, and it's roughly $12,000. So where's the other $5,000 going to come from? You know what I mean? This is people are that are pushing the voucher scam are saying, oh well, this is giving students and parents a choice to be able to go and get a different type of education, but the reality is that it's going to people who are already privileged and wealthy that are able to afford that $5,000 difference. You know what I mean? And when in a world and in a society where education should be the most important and accessible thing for all of us, right?
Well, I mean, and here you are in Middle Tennessee, and I don't know now. No, you're a young man. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but when my wife and I we stayed here in Rutherford County. I've been here since 1980. Basically, spent little time in Wilson County, had because of the job transfer over there. But basically, back to Rutherford County. Lived in Smyrna, lived in Laverne, live here in Murfreesboro now. The one key thing for us was the county school system here in Rutherford County, and it's fantastic. Yeah. And I don't want anyone monkeying around with it. Especially, you don't want anyone like me messing with it. I've never taught these children. We raised two wonderful children. But you know what I'm saying? No. I'm not an educator. I'm not. I've got a lot of good friends that are. Former educators, too. And they're pretty disgusted with the way this thing is going, by the way. Yeah. And I'm telling you, this is important. When you can't even agree just to feed a child. I mean, I don't get it. But you're going to go out and help kids, send money to them to go to a private school. Then what happens? I mean, this was the vote that was taken was for, and I don't want to get off on a tangent here. Don't get me wrong, but what do you do when all the other private schools in this county alone come up and say, "Hey, where's our share? How much is there to go around?"
Yeah.
And here's another thing. What about faith-based schools? You going to a private school, or are you going to a faith-based school? See? And I've had a problem with that since day one. I have no problem. We got good friends of ours, their children, all over the place. They go to private schools. Great. That's wonderful. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I've talked with other parents that said, he had a guy he had worked for, a very successful man. He said he had 5 or 6 children. About 2 or 3 of them went to private school, 2 or 3 of them went to public schools, but because of different occupations thing. And he said when I'd go to visit with them or see them, I couldn't tell any difference in either one of them. They were all nice kids. And the education starts, like it did with your mama, probably at home.
Mm-hmm. No, that's exactly right. And, what we're seeing is that we're seeing how they're trying to pit private and public schools together, right?
They're trying.
They're trying to do that, and the reality is that we're seeing, that private education is better than public education, and the data, the statistics show that is just simply incorrect. You know what I mean? And 90%, Ed, 90% of Tennessee students are in public schools. Right?
90%.
90%.
We're going all the way out of our way for 10% of our students.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
that's fine. And if you can afford it, that's fine. That's good.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with
that. Yeah. That's the thing. That you said it perfectly, right? If you can afford it, great, do it. That is your choice, right? But it's like, this whole entire voucher scam is as I've said, right? It's siphoning public tax dollars away from our already underfunded public schools to subsidize the private education of the wealthy and privileged few. And here's the thing, Ed. I have talked to, again, our local leaders, our local governments, school board members, directors down here in Rutherford County.
Right.
And the thing is, they have all agreed locally to send a message to our state delegation here in Rutherford County saying we oppose voucher scams, right? We do not want the voucher scam in our local community.
Did they ever send the message?
They made that message very loud and clear publicly, and our state delegation continues to vote ignore what our local leaders have been asking for.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They can't agree. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
And it's no, and I'm just going to say this. And this is me talking. This is not Luis. This is me. This is Ed Raymer. We know one party controls most of this state, okay? Mm-hmm. They're fighting among themselves now. Mm-hmm. They can't even decide what they want to do. Jackson's back in here. Jackson, when you get a minute, we're going to go to our last series break. That's okay with you. And, they're fighting among themselves. They can't agree on what they want to have for lunch, much less give free lunch to the kids, Great
That's right.
day.
No, that's absolutely right. We're seeing a supermajority that is completely in shambles, a supermajority that's weak and that is doing everything they possibly can to take away the freedoms, the rights of Tennesseans, everyday Tennesseans, and we deserve better, right? That's
our children deserve better.
Our children, our families,
better. Yeah.
We deserve better, right? And we deserve to be able to have a future that is one where we can all be able to afford to live in our neighborhoods, where we can afford accessible health care, public education. That's right.
Luis Mata is here with us. He's running for the 49th District congressional seat down there. That's wide open. He's going to well, it's not wide open, but he's going to be going for it, and it's a big area down there. We're going to be back to finish out the rest of our broadcast. We're going to our second series of breaks. Jackson's on the board. My name's Ed Raymer. Back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate it. Appreciate, what this young man does, and all the folks that come up here. They work as interns here and do a great job. And, I don't do that side of the board. I let them do their thing, and I do my thing, and then sit here and talk and question the guest, Luis Mata is running for the 49th District. Congressional district, parts of Smyrna and Laverne. Is it mostly Smyrna, or is it mostly Laverne? Do you know?
Yeah. The 49th State House District is, most of Smyrna, a little bit of the top part of Laverne.
Okay.
A little bit of the bottom half. A little bit of the bottom half of Laverne, a little bit of the top half of North Murfreesboro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But the meat of Smyrna. That's right.
Sure. Now, again, you got a plethora of subjects to pick from. I mean, this state, everything from gun control to the vouchers as we were talking about, all that. Anything that really sticks out that is a craw on your side?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you. There's actually, again, meeting with local leaders, local government officials, talking to voters, right? The most important part, talking to the folks in the community. What we are seeing is that we, the folks are saying that we need to be able to fund our growth, right? That's what we keep hearing. We need to be able to fund our growth. Rutherford County is growing. And here's the thing, Ed. We knew Rutherford County was going to grow 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Sure.
We had to have been proactive 10 years ago. Again, my opponent's been here for 13 years. 10 years ago, we had to have been proactive.
Agreed.
Right now, we're having to be reactive. And I think that is what we are seeing across the board, right?
It's one of the biggest problems in government, all up and down the ladder.
Exactly. And it's time for us to have leaders up there that are going to be proactive and fighting for the solutions to the real issues happening in our community. One of which, right, is how are we going to fund our growth, right? So what do we mean by that? Again, we're seeing a lot of new folks here in Rutherford County. It's growing. But there's also people who have lived here for years, right? Their entire lives.
Sure.
And, so how are we smartly, responsibly, and equitably funding our growth? So here's the thing. Our, the local Rutherford County Commission has asked the state leaders, Rutherford County state delegation, to figure out a plan to fund the growth. So their plan is incorporating impact fees, right? And, they've been asking for that for a while now, and they're stagnant, right? They're not acting. They're not acting, and what we saw is that our property taxes went up almost 16%, Ed.
Sure.
So we're talking
largest increase in the history of this county.
That's exactly right. So we're seeing folks are norm. The opposition says, "Oh, taxes," but it's the reality is, you look at why our property taxes are increasing, right? And it goes down. It's as simple as that. There are smart and equitable and responsible ways to fund our growth. And we have to figure out those solutions. We have to work with our local leaders, work with the local communities to take action on those solutions.
And to realize that everyone's not out to get you.
Yes. Yeah.
We're not coming for you. We're coming to try and find a solution to this.
Right.
I've had many of our leaders on over the last more than a decade now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the first things I say is, maybe I'll have one on one side, one on the other, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're not here tonight to point fingers. We're not here to assess blame.
Yep.
There's plenty of blame to go around for all of us, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a situation. How are we going to fix it?
Exactly.
And many of our, and a good friend of mine, talked to him this week, Rob Mitchell, our county property assessor. He gets the yoke hung around his neck all the time, Rob is simply doing his job as mandated by state government.
Yeah.
He must do certain things that's his job. It's not that he likes increasing taxes or anything like anybody. He pays them just like we do.
Exactly.
So
no, you're exactly right, and I think that's if we're zooming out a little bit, we're seeing the way how we have just we veered away from the reality of what politics should be, right? We should have our representatives on speed dial, their personal phone numbers saying, hey, these are the issues happening. And we are now seeing that those in power are too busy putting politics over people, profits over people. And we need to go back to the basics, Ed.
Back to the basics, right. Shaking hands and knocking doors. And that's one way you'll do it. We have a caller on the line. Caller, this is Ed Raymer. Go ahead, please.
Ed Raymer, this is Hooper Piniel out in God's country in Las Casas, Tennessee.
Hooper, did they let you out of San Quentin?
They did. They let me out for the night.
Oh, okay. So you got to be back in the morning at 6.
I might need your help.
I can't help you, buddy. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Take care. Cooper, what do you think about this young man?
I think he's a great candidate. I'm not sure whether he's a Democrat or what, but I hope he's a Democrat.
He is a Democrat, yes.
Absolutely. He needs to push that.
Yeah.
He needs to push it that he's a Democrat.
By the way,
It's awful to be identified as a Democrat.
No.
Anyway, I just want to call and say congratulations for the candidate that I'm sure he's going to do a great job down in the 49th, but he needs to push that and try to get as many Democrats as he can to vote for him to get him in the office.
Well, and we've had a lot, Hooper, as you know, you and I have talked. They're sitting on the sidelines, waiting. What are you waiting for? You there, Hooper?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. What are you waiting for? Waiting for what? You better get out there and vote.
We need to step out before the time to go to the election office to vote.
Yep.
And start pushing it more and more on the side of the Democrats, because the Republicans are doing it left and right. And as you know, they've got the voice right now. They've got it. But I just wanted to call in and encourage people to vote from the top down.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Biden all the way down on the Democratic side. If we don't elect Joe Biden as president, we may not have a choice to vote again.
I don't think people used to say that, and they said it in jest. That's not a joke anymore for me. And you and I have lived long enough to see this happen.
It's terrible. It's terrible to think those kind of things, really. But
yeah, and when you have people saying, I mean, this character Vladimir Putin is running in Russia. I wish our elections were run that way. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. I mean. Come on, man. And you got people, I want a dictator. You do? Well, why don't you run over to Russia?
That's right.
I mean,
We don't-
how
we
about
don't
Hungary?
need-
That guy's a good one.
We don't need a dictator here in
No,
the United States.
I don't think so. No.
But anyway, I just want to encourage people to think about the positive things that our current president's doing.
Right.
He's doing a great job, and people need to identify with him and not listen to all this other negative stuff
No.
that's coming out about him. We've got a lot to be thankful for here in the United States,
That we do.
in America, and your candidate there for the 49th is one of those people that want to do a great job, and they will do a great job if they get elected. But they've got to get elected, and we've got to elect from the top down too. So
Well, you know,
anyway,
we
that's
had
all.
Hope Oliver. She's county commissioner now, and they told me
It's a start.
she'll never be able to do it. I said, yes, she can. When I first saw her, I think she thought I was out of my mind. I said, Hope, you can do this. You can do this. And I'm here to tell Luis, you can do this. You know,
I spent some time in the Air Force in Spain
right?
during the Franco regime, and we were not allowed to wear our uniforms downtown because we'd be identified as Americans.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And it was a little bit difficult to try to support the local economy and all that when these people were looking at you over the shoulder, trying to come up with something to accuse you of doing something wrong. But anyway,
Sure.
we do not need to live under a dictatorship, and hopefully that will never happen here.
Or either an authoritarian type situation either.
Sure.
We
Okay.
don't need
All right.
that. This guy in Hungary's out of his mind, you know.
That's
and
exactly
CPAC asked him to come and speak. I think it's the second year he spoke down there, I believe.
I think
They're in
you're
love with him,
exactly-
you know.
I think you're right, and good luck to the candidate there in the 49th.
Thank you so much, Cooper. Thanks for calling in.
Good luck to you, buddy. Okay.
Hooper, thank you. I will talk to you later in the week, my friend. Okay?
See you, buddy. Okay.
Take
bye.
care, my friend. Hooper Pinuel, honorary mayor of Las Casas, Tennessee. He used to be your election commissioner here.
That's awesome.
He had Alan Farley's job before Alan had it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
He was
thank you,
there
Hooper.
in charge, yes, and he will be one of your biggest supporters. I will assure you. He is from old school, and he knows what you're talking about, shaking hands, pressing the flesh, the old way. And I know people, well, you got Facebook, just go on there. That's wonderful. That's great. And you can put them all together. You can be here with me every Sunday. But I might, you know, and I'd like to think we get you a few votes. But nothing beats, President Kennedy once said, anytime you shake a man's hand, and a man now or a woman, when you shake that hand, you've pretty much guaranteed that vote.
You know,
People remember that person-to-person contact. You know,
that's right, Ed. And you know that something that I always say is it's hard to hate up close, right?
it is.
It's hard to hate up close. We've been our team has been out. We've been knocking doors, talking to voters. Again, going back to the grassroots, going back to as I mentioned, going back to the basics, having these real conversations, right? Ed? That is what wins campaigns.
Kitchen table issues. That's
talking about,
exactly
hey,
right.
how can I be a true fighter for you up at our state capitol? What issues are important to you?
Right.
How can I improve your quality of life? Here's my personal phone number. Call me. You know, that is the strategy here, and it's talking to folks and saying, hey, our leadership has failed us. That is the reality. Our leadership has failed us. They've been in power for more than the past 10 years, and it's
going on about 20 now. It's utterly, you know. And I look back, and Luis and I were talking, because, you know, I was mentioning, you know, when Bart Gordon was our representative in Washington, because of Bart Gordon, we have our Greenway now, and it stretches for miles. And people enjoy it, and they have no idea. Bart got that federal money in here. Now, does it require work, and does it require, you know, maintenance? Yes, it does. Yeah. But look at the growth we've had in this community. You've got to have things like that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Our family has a family farm that a lot of our kids, our sons go to, and they deer and turkey hunt up there. A lot of people do not have that.
Yeah.
Okay? We're very, very fortunate. We're very lucky. It's only 85 acres. You couldn't plant a sprig of corn on it. It would have to grow like that because it's all just hills and hollers, you know. There's not even, but it's perfect for deer and turkey, and the boys love it, you know. And, you know, but a lot of people don't have that privilege. And we're certainly running out of places to hunt down here because the more houses and places that are built, it's happening, and it's happening all the way from Laverne right over here to Eagleville to Rockvale, back down to Smyrna.
Right.
And then, of course, here in good old Murfreesboro. So, and like you say, government has become reactive instead of proactive.
That's exactly
And,
right.
you know, a good friend of mine, well, I'll just tell you, it's Rob Mitchell, and Rob and I agree, and he's Republican. It's been a big part of his life as a Democrat. I don't know what happened there, but nonetheless, that's his business. But, you know, I mean, you know, but we agree on something. If it's a tax, call it a tax.
Yes.
And tell people, here is what it's for. People will understand for the most part, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just, you know, the reason we got into this 15, 16% thing, like you were mentioning earlier, is because we all know what it was. You know, there'll be no tax increase under this administration. You know, okay, bully for you. Great. Okay. Now you're going to hit us after you're long gone. And our other people that have to take up this slack, now they're getting hit over the head with the 2x4, you know. And I hate to tell them, but fellas, it may, ladies and gentlemen, it may cost some of you some of your jobs. It cost you your office because of lack of foresight by the people that were here before you got here. And I don't mean Democrats. I'm talking about some of these Republicans. We're getting close. We've got 4 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell us how people can get hold of you, get on board with your campaign. What's going on? How do we reach you?
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. So, and I want to go to Hooper was making a great point there of, you know, it's so important for us to reclaim what it means to be Democrats. You know, I think that it has to be, we have to be shameless. We have to know that the Democrat is the party of power, of strength, of unity, and we are ready to step up and make the change that we know that we deserve. And as you're saying, you know, we have a duty to step up and fight for our families now, right here, but also fight for our families in the future, right? And as you're saying, we have to be taking action and making sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to build a better future for ourselves and our families, right?
Right.
And that starts by joining together and being unified. I don't know how many folks are listening that are Spanish speakers, but what they say in Spanish is la unión hace la fuerza, Ed, and what that means is in unity there is strength.
Right.
So to the folks listening in District 49, the Fighting 49ers, Ed, that's what we're
The
calling
Fighting
it.
49ers.
The Fighting 49ers, you know, I invite you to join us so that we can be united, so that we can be strong together. That is how we will be successful, and this campaign will continue to. Those are the values of our campaign, right? Unity, strength, and resilience, and hard work. And so I invite you all. You can find us on our website, Vote Luis Mata. That's VOTELUISMATA.com. And our social media also VOTELUISMATA.
Okay. And that's the best way to reach you. Contribute to your campaign or to work in your campaign, to hand out flyers, whatever it may take.
That's right.
Whatever.
So, and you know, as we were saying earlier, right, we are going to the grassroots, the basics, right? We are going to be out there talking to voters, all the voters across District 49, to make sure that we are bringing in the most amount of people to our movement. We are building a powerful movement to flip this seat, flip District 49, and to create the change that we know that we deserve. So I invite you all to come out, join us. You know, we are starting our door knocking. We started that, and we're going to be going strong every single day until November 5th. And after that, right, Ed? After that.
We want you to know you have an open seat here. You're welcome here at my broadcast every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. You're welcome to call in, have your people call in, bring people with you. You've got it. You found a home here, and make yourself home. Make use of it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
God bless you, son. I'm proud of you. Put your name on a ballot, folks. You're gonna make a difference. This young man has done that.
Bye.
And from the Edwin Lee Raymer Show, I'm Ed Raymer. Until next Sunday night, 8 o'clock. I'll catch you down the road. Good night.